Before we get started on this video, I just want to give a special shout out to Ruthless for making this video possible. Thank you, man. Thank you for your work. Now, let's get started in this video. Let's go. Hey guys, this is Killer743 back with another Dead Frontier video. Wow, we're not in the outpost anymore, right? We're finally in the outside. You know, I wanted to liven up the mood because I noticed every video when I make, advice or when I do like an explanation, it's always in the outpost. So I'm like, you know what? Let's keep it outside. So anyway, let's get started. Now, TPK. It's a very stressful and interesting thing, It's kind of like a huge part of the game, but at the same time it's not. But hey, in my opinion, I wouldn't really never go for TPK because I don't have the time anymore. I'm not like 12 or 13, alright? It's for those who are, die-hard, gamers in Dead Frontier, and if you win it, congratulations. But anyway, let's get started in the advice. Now, I know I've never won TPK. I've only won clan TPK, and that was with my members, and I barely did any work because of real life things, and I didn't have time. But there are some things I learned over the 3 to 4 years I've been on this game, alright? And also some advice I've gotten from my members, from shadow members, my comrades, my partners, or my friends. So they always told me rule number 1 is your artillery. What armor and weapon will you bring into the arena? Obviously your weapons play a huge part when you PvP. If you use something like an awful bow in the arena, oh man, that shit will not help you out at all. Now if you use something like a war carbine, that will give you a it'll give you an upper hand when you face someone with with, let's say let's say you go against someone with a GAU. Why? You think, well, the GAU is stronger than the war carbine, right? Yes, but the GAU also sprays a lot. It has ultra low accuracy. For a GAU to work effectively, you have to go in front of their face. Like 1 meter away, and you start shooting them in the face. But a war carbine, if it hits you, it's gonna do full damage. If it hits critical hit, especially, is going to be doing some serious damage. Alright, armor as well. If you have an XT and you're going against someone with a TPK or whatever you name it, guess who's lasting? Guess who's winning? Of course, mostly it's going to be the guy with the TPK than the guy with the XT, because he has more health than you do now. Armory plays a huge role in PvP. Alright, so that's my advice for rule number 1. Rule number 2, well, tip number 2, it's money. You need money, dude. You can't just walk in there in the arena and think, oh, I'll make it with 10 mil. You could, but you have to be very, 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 how do you call it, resourceful. Ammo, especially a machine gun. Oh god, dude, it's such a slut. I know, because when I was going with a GAU like in 2014, I think, the beginning of February, I can't remember, my money was going down. Like the first day I wasted like 4 mil. And that was just with the GAU alone. It was crazy. And also you need to buy drugs, 24-hour drugs. Those are expensive too, as since credits are up in price once again. And also, yeah, ammo and drugs is very expensive. So you need the money in order to support yourself in the arena. Unless you have ghost ammo or you have an unlimited GAU, then you should have a huge upper hand in this. But hey man, that's my advice. Alright, now tip number 3, it's also very important, is who can last the longest. Everybody says, oh, but it's hard because this guy has artillery. Yes, weapons play a big role, but it also depends who stays up the longest. An example, let's say I play for 4 hours and my rival plays for 8 hours. Who's gonna be ahead? That's right, it's gonna be my rival. He's gonna be up by many points, and before you know it, I'll be behind 7,000 points, 5,000 points, and those 5,000 points take a while. He'll probably play for 8 hours, and he knows he'll be safe because it'll be hard for me to gain those points that I've now lost to catch up to him. So yeah, it depends on who lasts the longest. That also applies to TS as well, Top Survivor. Top Survivor, that's all about who stays up the longest. And now tip number 4 is is basically try your hardest the first day this thing begins. I cannot express how important the first day is when this begins. Whenever the first day begins on TPK or TS, it applies to who can last the longest. You know, back to tip number 3, who can last the longest. But for this one is, if you don't try your best on the first day, forget it, man. You're basically behind so many points because everybody wants to go for it now, alright? And that's also the best day because you're going to see a lot of people in there just trying to catch up in points, alright? So for that one, you know, give it all you got on the first day, no matter how much you feel sick at the computer, just keeping your eyes glued to a screen for 8 hours. If you really want this, then go for it, you know? It's up to you. Now, tip number 5 is, you know, make friends, you know, also find a clan that supports you, that has, you know, that they have your back no matter what. Let's say you're running low on funds, you know, you need the money, you're like, oh crap, dude, I'm low on cash, how can I do this? You know, your clan members will be like, hey man, here's some money, you know, have it, it's all for you. And you know, a clan and friends play a big role in this, you know, and they also can donate some ammo for you. You know, let's say you're really running low on funds. Sorry, I repeated myself again, but they'll send you some ammo for you to keep on going. You know, they'll help you out, you know. And also, I hate this part of the game, well, this part of the competition, but believe it or not, this happens many times. But I never really enjoyed it because it doesn't seem fair to my competition. But they can also block people for you. So let's say you're sleeping and you're like, hey man, block this guy from me. You know, what that basically means is he'll prevent that person from gaining any more points. It's like, for me, it's a pussy way of winning TPK, but it's also a strategy, you know. It's also a way of winning TPK. Why? Because now you have 2 to 3 people blocking that guy. They're preventing him from getting points. Now, you know, it can go both ways. You know, either that would be a bad thing or that would be a good thing, you know. And I'll explain right now in tip number 6. Now, if you see yourself getting killed continuously over and over and over again, that means that basically you should stop, because you know that guy is now having a huge upper hand. First of all, he's preventing you from getting points, and second, he's now having an upper hand on you, you know. So yeah, that'll be a big problem for you, because now, you know, you're getting stopped by this guy, your rival. So yeah guys, that's all I have for today. You know, you don't have to take this up, it's just advice, but you know, do whatever you want. And this is Killer743 signing off, and see you around. And again, take care everyone. See you guys.